Here's how to crochet your very own laptop sleeve. You'll need a 12mm crochet hook and 2 strands of t-shirt yarn. Oh, and if you want a code for 10% off your yarn, comment crochet below. Also, my laptop is 15 inches, so adjust the pattern accordingly. We're gonna start with making a slip knot and then our foundation chain. I did 13 chains, but it's really just whatever the length of your laptop is. Next, you're gonna wanna skip the first loop from your hook and insert a single crochet into that second loop. And there we go with our first single crochet. Now we can just keep repeating this, 1 single crochet into each loop until we get to the very end of our row. Now I'm at the end of my row and I have 1 loop left, and I'm gonna do a single crochet increase here. So just 2 single crochets into the exact same stitch. And now at this point I've finished my row. I'm gonna turn my work around and we're gonna work into the underside of that foundation chain, still with single crochets, 1 in each loop. I'm just finishing off my last single crochet in this row. Your work should look something like this, and if you also chained 13 to start, at this point you should have 22 single crochets along the perimeter. And now to finish up this sort of circle that we're creating, I'm gonna put a single crochet into my chain space here. And then I'm gonna place a slip stitch into that next stitch over, which should leave you with something looking like this. And now the hard part is over, I promise, because from this point on, you just continue with single crochets along the perimeter. And we can speed through this part. It gets pretty repetitive, but I will say this pattern's great for a beginner because it helps you work on your tension as you go. At this point, I think I've neared my desired height, but I'm just gonna make sure by popping in my laptop and making sure it's fully covered by the yarn. It's looking good, so now you wanna make sure that you finish at the side of your work. Doesn't matter which side, just make sure it's one of them. And we're actually gonna keep going with one final row of slip stitches, which will help cinch the top of our work and keep our laptop from falling out. Once you've done your last slip stitch, you can cut your yarn and pull your ends through. Go ahead and sew in your ends, and if you want a tutorial on that, let me know. I added my tag to give it that personal touch, and here's the finished product. I think it turned out great, and this is just a reminder that if you want something, you could probably make it yourself.